Welcome to the Garden Report Live Part 1. I am surrounded by Jimmy Toscano of Metro Boston and Sean Hyken from The Athletic Chicago.
Welcome.
And probably the best Twitter account on the internets. Sean?
Lofty praise.
Yeah. So, Sean, you witnessed Amir Johnson's greatest night of his entire life. We saw 4 Amir Johnson threes in a row. Do you think this is real life?
I mean, so honestly, when that happened, I was like on his basketball reference page looking up how many three-pointers. Like, was he actually just a good three-point shooter? I didn't know about it, and it turns out he wasn't. So it was just like, okay, whatever. This was just not the Bulls' night when that happened, and that's kind of what everybody was saying in the locker room afterwards. Was you live with that if he's making those shots.
Well, the big dog had a big night, and Taj Gibson said like 4 times that was not in the game plan.
I was going to say that. I even heard Amir Johnson say in the locker room, was like, that wasn't in the scouting report.
Wait, Amir Johnson said that?
I heard him say that.
Because Taj Gibson said that too.
I heard him
Everybody
say that
was saying
in the scouting
that.
report. I want to call it a miracle, if you will. It was just one of those quarters for Amir, and thank you. Yeah, and yeah, you can't expect that, but you'll definitely take it. And he was feeling it because we saw him drive to the lane a little bit later and go a little up and under, a little floater. I don't know. It was like MJ's special drink or something at halftime. I don't know what it was, but the Celtics will take it.
I think he touched the magic ball with Patrick Ewing and Charles Barkley's skill set in it.
Yeah.
But we also saw the 3 alphas, which I'm sure you've been having a ton of fun with. I mean, it was interesting to talk to those guys after the game where, you told me that Rondo has not been waiting out the media. Sure enough, tonight he left literally as they were leaving for the bus, and there was like 2 people left to talk to him. But it was an interesting night for Rondo.
It was an interesting night, and I mean, it's always kind of an emotional thing for him to come back here. You saw before the game, he got a huge ovation still when he was introduced by the PA announcer. They still has a lot of fans in Boston. But, as far as how he's been fitting in with the Bulls, he has been terrific. Everybody on the team and Fred Hoiberg has all been raving about his impact, how vocal he's been, how he's setting guys up for shots. And so far, I mean, I was as skeptical as anybody about how it was going to fit, but so far it's been great.
You think it's too early?
Oh, it's definitely too early. I mean, you've got, like you said, the 3 alphas. You've got Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Rajon Rondo. 3 guys that are a little hard-headed. They're emotional out there.
A little hard-headed, really.
A lot. 3 guys that look. They're all, they're a couple of them have won championships. The third one's clearly good enough to be on a team that can win a championship. These guys have the same, I think, the end goal, but the way they want to get there is their own way of doing things. So I think at some point they're going to butt heads. But I mean, I think it happens on a lot of teams. You maybe just don't hear about it. But in this case, everyone's looking for it, and they're gonna be quick to jump on it at the just the slightest sense of it. So it'll be interesting how Hoiberg sort of balances all those attitudes in the locker room.
Well, the funny thing we're seeing, people forgot they do have Fred Hoiberg, who could work in the NBA, and it's kind of working right now.
It's been working. I think it's working a lot better than it was last time. I think just because you have a point guard that's willing to push the pace, and just guys are buying in. That's really what it is. And Jimmy Butler even said yesterday at practice that last year he was maybe too quick to judge Hoiberg because obviously they had that incident in New York where he said he needs to coach the team harder. There was a perception that they didn't get along, but Jimmy said that he's getting along better with Fred this year, and I think everybody else is buying in and following suit.
Speaking of buying in and following suit, let's do a read for Indochino Custom Menswear. Thank you for the segue.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah. So use the promo code GARDEN to get half off on an Indochino custom made-to-measure suit for only $389. Go to the Newbury Street showroom in the Back Bay in Boston and get fitted. You can look as sexy as we do here on the Garden Report.
You can try.
So we'll be right back for part 2.